After 60, you can still tell a man's intentions in the first 7 seconds, not by what he says, but by how he greets you. I'm Vernon. In today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 types of greetings that reveal when a man is genuinely interested in you. And if you're joining me for the first time, welcome to our little corner of wisdom. This channel is for those of us who've earned our experience and aren't afraid to use the emotional intelligence that comes with it. We're diving deep into the subtle art of reading people, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Vernon, shouldn't I be past all this relationship decoding? But here's the truth I've witnessed countless times in my practice. Emotional investment feels more precious when we've learned what truly matters. We don't have time for games or guessing. We need to know where we stand, and we need to know quickly. The greeting, that first moment of connection, it's like an emotional fingerprint. In those few seconds, a man reveals whether you're background noise or foreground music in his life, whether you're a pleasant encounter or someone who makes his whole world pause. If you're learning to read people better or trying to trust yourself again, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. This isn't guesswork. It's wisdom we've earned the hard way. Let's start with the first kind of greeting, and it's one you'll recognize immediately when it happens.
1. The focused greeting. When a man drops the world to see you. My sister-in-law Carmen called me last month, her voice trembling with confusion. She'd been attending a pottery class at the community center, trying to rediscover herself after her divorce. There was this man in her class, Oliver, a gentle soul who worked as a museum curator, who seemed to treat everyone with the same quiet respect. But Carmen noticed something different when she walked into the studio. Oliver's hands would still be on the clay wheel, his entire posture would shift toward her, and he'd say, "Carmen," with such deliberate warmth that it made her question everything she thought she knew about attraction. What Carmen was experiencing is what I call attention as a resource. Think about it. In our daily lives, we scatter our attention like seeds in the wind. We half-listen to conversations while checking our phones. We multitask through most interactions. We're physically present, but mentally elsewhere. But when a man is genuinely interested, when he's what Jordan Peterson might call paying attention with his whole being, everything changes. The focused greeting has 3 unmistakable elements. First, the full stop. Whatever he's doing, reading, talking, walking, comes to a complete halt. His body language shifts entirely toward you. This isn't casual politeness. This is priority reallocation. Second, the eye contact. Not the quick glance of social courtesy, but sustained, warm eye contact that says, right now, in this moment, you are the most important person in my world. There's research showing that extended eye contact releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. When a man holds your gaze during a greeting, he's literally creating a chemical connection. Third, the voice modulation. His tone drops slightly, becomes more intimate, more intentional. The way he says your name isn't just identification, it's appreciation. It's the difference between calling someone to dinner and calling someone to come home. Carmen started noticing these patterns everywhere once I'd pointed them out. The barista who remembered her order versus the one who treated her like transaction number 47. The neighbor who waved from his garden versus the one who stopped weeding to have a real conversation. Has anyone ever greeted you like you were the best part of their day? If so, pay attention. That's not casual interest, that's emotional investment. Drop a yes in the comments if you've ever felt truly seen in someone's greeting, or a no if you're still waiting for that moment. Either way, your voice matters here.
2. The nervous greeting, when a man's awkwardness is actually devotion. We've been conditioned to think that confidence equals interest, that smooth equals sincere. But after decades of watching human behavior, I can tell you this: sometimes a man's awkwardness is the most honest thing about him. Matthew Hussey talks about this phenomenon in his work on authentic attraction. When a man is genuinely moved by a woman, when she represents something real and meaningful to him, his nervous system often goes into overdrive. The very fact that she matters makes him more vulnerable, not less. Think about it from a psychological perspective. We've all been hurt before. We've had our hearts broken, our trust betrayed, our vulnerabilities exposed. When a man encounters someone who stirs something deep in him, his brain doesn't just process attraction, it processes risk. The emotional stakes feel higher. This shows up in the greeting in fascinating ways. His voice might crack slightly when he says hello, not because he's uncertain, but because he's emotionally activated. He might stumble over words he said 1,000 times before, or have a slight delay in his eye contact as he gathers the courage to really look at you. I've seen men who can command boardrooms and negotiate million-dollar deals become tongue-tied when greeting a woman they're genuinely interested in. Their hands might shake imperceptibly. They might forget what they were about to say, or they might overcompensate with nervous laughter. His attachment system is firing. His brain is running calculations about vulnerability, about the possibility of rejection, about what it would mean to let someone matter this much. The greeting becomes charged with emotional electricity. The key is learning to distinguish between nervous interest and disinterest. Nervous interest involves engagement. He's fully present, even if he's flustered. He's making an effort, even if it's imperfect. Disinterest, on the other hand, is smooth because it's shallow. It's easy to be charming when nothing's at stake. During one of our coffee meetings, Dr. Patricia shared a moment that caught her off guard. She'd been volunteering at the local animal shelter, where she met James, a soft-spoken veterinarian who seemed confident with every injured animal, but turned into a stuttering mess whenever Patricia appeared. "Vernon," she said, stirring her coffee thoughtfully, "he can perform surgery on a German shepherd without breaking a sweat, but he can barely say good morning to me without his voice cracking." Could his awkwardness be a form of honesty, not a lack of confidence? In my experience, the men who are most affected by meaningful connections are often the ones who fumble the greeting. They're not playing games because they're not playing at all. So now you've seen how nervous energy can reveal real interest. But what if the greeting doesn't make your heart race? It makes it rest. Take a guess. What kind of greeting says, "You're safe here"? Next is a greeting that doesn't stir butterflies, but calm storms.
3. The ritual greeting, when a man creates emotional safety through repetition. The ritual greeting isn't flashy. It doesn't sweep you off your feet or make your heart race. Instead, it does something more precious. It makes your nervous system relax. It tells your deepest self, you are seen, you are valued, and you can count on this. When a man develops a ritual way of greeting you, whether it's a specific phrase, a particular smile, or a certain way of touching your shoulder, he's creating what psychologists call a secure base. He's saying, without words, in a world of uncertainty, this connection between us is certain. My dear friend Sophia shared something with me that perfectly illustrates this third type of greeting. She'd been seeing Thomas, a retired architect, for several months. Every Tuesday evening, when they met for their weekly dinner, Thomas would arrive precisely at 6, approach her table, and say, "Hello, beautiful soul. I hope your day treats you kindly." Same words, same gentle tone, same tender smile. Week after week, through restaurant changes, weather delays, and life's inevitable chaos, that greeting remained constant. What Thomas understood intuitively is something attachment theory has proven scientifically. Consistency in small gestures creates profound emotional safety. I've noticed this pattern in my own life. My late wife, Eleanor, used to greet me each morning with the same soft, "Good morning, love," and a kiss on the forehead. It became so much a part of our rhythm that I felt disoriented on the rare mornings when she was up before me and I missed it. That greeting was an anchor in the storm of daily life. The ritual greeting reveals something beautiful about masculine psychology. Men often express love through consistency rather than grand gestures. They show devotion through reliability. A man who greets you the same loving way day after day is a man who has made space for you in his daily emotional architecture. It's worth noting that this kind of greeting evolves slowly. It's not something that happens on a second or third date. It's something that develops as emotional trust builds, as a man begins to see you as a permanent part of his landscape rather than a temporary visitor. Who greets you with the kind of familiarity that makes your nervous system relax? Pay attention to that person. They're not just being polite, they're creating a sanctuary in their relationship with you. This kind of greeting often feels quiet, but it reaches somewhere deep. Anyone who's experienced it will recognize it instantly. Share this video with a friend your age, someone who understands what emotional steadiness really means, and ask them, does this sound like something real to you?
As I sit here reflecting on these patterns I've witnessed over the years, I'm struck by how much wisdom we gain simply by paying attention. How someone greets you reveals where you stand in their emotional world. It shows you their priorities, their vulnerabilities, their intentions. The focused greeting says, "You matter enough for me to stop everything." The nervous greeting says, "You matter enough to make me vulnerable." The ritual greeting says, "You matter enough to become part of my daily sacred space." I've learned that we've earned the right to trust our observations. We've seen enough human behavior to recognize patterns. We've experienced enough relationships to know the difference between genuine interest and casual attention. Love doesn't always roar. Sometimes it arrives in a whisper that knows your name. I encourage you to trust your emotional radar more, not less, as you gain experience. That instinct that tells you when someone lights up at the sight of you, that's not wishful thinking. That's experience recognizing authentic connection. Whether you're dating again, deepening existing relationships, or simply learning to read the world around you with greater clarity, remember this: the greeting is the doorway to the heart. And you, with all your wisdom and experience, are perfectly equipped to recognize when someone is genuinely happy to see you walk through it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you believe wisdom in love grows stronger with experience, not weaker, because it does. And that's the most beautiful truth of all.